What's going on, guys? It's your boy ATF Cobra, and today's video wanted to bring you guys some tips and tricks on flying a jet, or evading and evasive maneuvers in a jet. Here you guys will see that a lot of this gameplay is comprised mostly of escaping from jets. I'll get a couple disabled and stuff like that, and probably a couple kills, but nothing too spectacular. This video is more focused on staying alive in the jet, because it can be very hard sometimes when you have a really good pilot on the enemy team. So first off, we're going to focus on how to get away from that jet that's actually attacking you. Now, the best way to actually avoid a jet is, as you guys can see here, is to do the loop. When you're first being hit, is to be very unpredictable. So doing the loop, basically the loop is you go straight up and you use your afterburners to go straight up, and then you make a loop, cycle up, and then come back down, and keep doing that as many times as you can to actually avoid his fire, and that will get a couple of his shots off, and that will keep him from actually disabling you or actually from killing you. And after you do that, you want to make sure you move around the map as much as you can to actually avoid his fire. See here, I'm strafing left, and do barrel rolls as well. That would actually help you escape from the fire. But if you're being locked on, the best way actually to take that on is to go below radar. Now, what that means basically is you go as low as you can to the ground and make sure that he is not able to lock onto you. So you know, when you do go below radar, it's harder for him to actually lock onto you unless he's like actually right there, right in front of you. Or if you go up with him, then he can lock onto you. But going below radar actually saves your butt when you're being locked on here. Almost crashed trying to do the loop, but when you're doing the loop, make sure you have enough altitude so you don't die in the process, and you're actually using your speed to control how much of a loop, or how big the loop is and how small it is. And when you're coming down, make sure you do use less speed, because that gravity is gonna make you go a little bit faster, so you're gonna come down faster at an angle, and you don't want to crash or an embarrassing nosedive. That's what you definitely don't want to do, especially escaping from another pilot. Now, here in this game, it's very hard for me to get kills or even disables. I'll disable vehicles and they'll just jump out immediately, or before I could even disable or destroy, they'll jump out, and that kind of sucks. You know, when you're playing with the jets, that's probably, you know, kind of avoid them. The jets aren't too hard to play with, or, you know, hard to fly, but it's just having people jump out of them, or when you're just about to get that kill, it kind of is dissatisfying. But at the same time, you're keeping the airs clean. And here, I don't know why I was missing. There was a lot of lag. As you guys can see here, I don't know what happened, but there was a lot of lag, and I had a 19 ping, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, it's just about the same on Xbox 360 and PS3 when you are flying a jet. To do the loop, it's just about the same. The controls are the same. The only thing that's different, it just feels a little bit more fluid, and you have more control on the PC version. You see here, I did the loop and I got behind this guy, and that's how I was able to actually take him down. Now, the loop can work in so many occasions or situations, and sometimes it doesn't always work. So you'll have to actually strafe around the map and do a circle or a sideways circle, and try to circle your enemy. And make sure you are using third-person mode here. I was using it for the most part, and the only time you want to actually be in first person is when you're locking on your shots, or when you're trying to align your shots and destroy that other jet, or to lock onto him to shoot some missiles at him. But the third person should be used the majority of the time, because it increases your view by a lot. It helps you actually see where your enemies are coming from. And here I was doing a high loop and trying to go sideways at the same time, because you have to be very unpredictable. And when you are doing the loop, like I said, you have to have a lot of altitude, or you're gonna end up nosediving, which you definitely don't want. And here, got behind this guy again, which you know, a lot of expert jets, they know that people are gonna try and do the loop, or they know that you're gonna try and get in back of them. So the best way to actually you know, get in back with them without them expecting it is to, you know, kind of go low first, or go really low, and then take your altitude, use your afterburners to go really, really high, and then try to do the loop. Of course, he's going to be expecting it, but if he's following you too fast, then he's definitely going to actually, you know, fly past you, and that way you can get behind him, or he's going to end up crashing into something if you're really, really high, and then you come straight down and try to do the loop. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, or show you guys on evasive maneuvers and evasive tips, is knowing when to flare and knowing when not to flare. When you hear that first beep when you're being locked on, it's okay. You can kind of break that lock, especially if it's not from a jet. it might be mostly from you know, those pesky havocs or helicopters for the jet guys. And when you first hear that first beeping noise, that's when you're being locked on. And then when you hear the second beeping noise, where it's a little bit rushy, it's like dee, 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 that little noise that it makes, that's when you need to get ready to flare, because that means basically that they actually shot some missiles at you, and those missiles are coming onto you. Now, if you did run out of flares, or if you did flare and you're being locked on immediately, again, like I said, going below radar could actually help you guys escape, or actually flying really, really high and then coming down and trying to make that missile actually pass you. This doesn't work all the time, but it works sometimes. Look at this guy. He was going really, really high. I took him out, and he bailed, of course, and then I got stuck in the air, which kind of sucked. But yeah. These evasive maneuvers, you have to practice in big maps, small maps. You have to practice them in all types of maps, and you know, it's only going to make you better when you keep practicing. Even if you're being destroyed over and over again, or if you go negative, which I actually found myself going negative a couple times. Not because I wasn't getting any kills, it's because I was getting a lot of disables, but then I get disabled myself, and I wouldn't want to you know, leave the fight. Sometimes I don't leave my jet until I'm almost just about dead or at 0%. And the reason is for that is because you could always come back. You could always land your jet and try to fix it or try to repair it and not give up so easily. You know, even if I do give the other guy the kill, it really doesn't matter, because you know, in the long run, if you stay alive, if you actually, you know, stay on the map longer than your enemy, you're probably gonna have a lot better chance at actually destroying them. Here I destroyed the boat as well. And when you are taking low or altitude, make sure you're using lower speeds, because it's easier to manage, and you know, it will keep you from actually hitting poles or hitting anything that's gonna actually kill you. You don't want that embarrassing death, like I said again, because when you die in a jet, you know, you actually get laughed at. A lot of people tend to laugh at those guys that die in a jet so easily, and it's because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's really funny when you see somebody fly really, really fast and then hit a pole and then crash and die. But yeah, anyways, you guys gotta avoid that just by using lower speeds when you're at lower altitudes, and when you are trying to actually catch your target here. He went around, he tried to do the circle strafe, so I became unpredictable. I wasn't gonna circle strafe him again, so I did the loop. So try to know where your enemy is gonna go, like where that jet is gonna go. Try to guess or try to predict where he's going, so you can make sure you could tackle him before he actually gets to where he wants to be. Now, you definitely don't want that jet behind you, because that makes you an easier target. And if you are behind, or if you're in front of that jet and he actually gets behind you, trying to do the loop or the circle strafe or the circle will actually help you escape from him in here. Also, if you want to do a circle strafe and make a run on any of the ground targets as well, you definitely have to get a lot of altitude, so when you come down and you slow down, you have enough time to line up your shots or even to lock onto your enemy. Now, once I unlock rocket pods, which I'm very close to, it's going to be a nightmare for these tanks, because the rocket pods, you could take out tanks in about one strafe. Look at that, embarrassing but funny. That guy crashed. But yeah, rocket pods, you could take out most tanks in about one strafe, which is kind of mean. I mean, it's really mean to take out a tank in one strafe, but anyways, I guess that's how it is. But yeah, another guy bites the dust. Another thing to watch out for, of course, running to your own teammate. Embarrassing. Yes, very embarrassing. You guys don't want to do that. So when you do see your teammate actually in a dogfight with another jet, the first thing you want to do is actually spot out that other jet, so your teammate can kind of know where he is, because more than likely he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know which angle he's coming from, unless he's actually a really good pilot or has air radar on. So spotting him out will help your teammate actually find where he is exactly, and staying a couple, you know, meters away from them to actually help him win that battle. Now, if you see he does need help, or if he needs somebody in his back to protect him, or to actually you know, distract that jet that's behind him, definitely go in for that and try to do that. But don't try to ram or try to you know, kill any of these jets, especially if you're in a good position. If you're in a good position to take him out and he's distracted, don't try to ram a jet, because it is pretty annoying. I actually, you know, did this a couple times when I first started learning to fly jets, ramming other jets, because they were just too good in the air to actually really you know, take on head on. But it was actually a cheap maneuver, but it really did help, because I wasn't that strong in a jet and we were getting manhandled and nobody wanted to take a jet, you know, especially the first couple times I started flying. You know, you find a lot of people avoid the jets because they just get killed over and over again. But you know, that cheap tactic of ramming. If you're a really good jet pilot, you should keep going and actually try to take the guy out instead of ramming. Ramming should be the last resort if your team is getting bombed, especially if your tanks are getting taken out over and over again. You know, it's probably your last resort, then definitely go for it. But if it's not, if it's, you know, if you just want to have fun or, you know, just do something douchey, then ramming is definitely not something that you want to do. But if you want to win games, if you're up, if you're down and you're losing, your tank's getting destroyed, everybody's getting destroyed and wiped out because there's a massive jet pilot, then definitely, you know, go to that last resort and try to take them out. I'm not saying, I'm not, you know, encouraging it, but I'm just saying it's a last resort. And you definitely want to win games. You don't want to lose games, so you have to kind of exhaust all your options. But yeah, anyways, in here, I don't know how I was missing the chopper. I don't get it at all. There's a lot of lag in this game. And a lot of lag in the other games that I was playing, especially when I believe that the Battle Blog was updating their maintenance or whatever. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy these tips. Remember, barrel rolls do actually help you actually you know, escape out of those deadly dogfights. Doing the loop is gonna help you escape too in the circle strafe, as I call it. I don't know what other people call it, but those really help you actually get behind that jet that's attacking you and behind your enemy, so you could go in and try to take him out. Especially if he's a low level jet guy, that could probably be an easy kill for you. And also lining up your shots with your crosshair. Remember that little white target, the white dot in the middle, is actually where you need to aim when you're shooting with your gun. If you guys didn't already know, but that's where you want to aim, not the little the crosshairs where it's you see in the middle. Those crosshairs are very inaccurate. Only the white dot is accurate. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these tips and tricks. It's been your boy ATF.